Hello squids and octos, welcome to another Splatoon 2 Superfresh guide. Today we will be revisiting the topic of Splat Dashing. Splat Dashing is a concept that's really easy to pick up but hard to master. This time we're going to go more in depth on the different applications of Splat Dashing. But before we go there, let's quickly recap what is a Splat Dash. With the shooter in hand, take your shots and then start swimming. That's all there is to Splat Dashing. It's just interrupting your shooting animation by swimming, usually followed by popping up to shoot again, and then swimming again, over and over in a cycle. This is just a more evasive way of taking shots at your opponents. If you just stand there and shoot, you're really easy to hit back, but by Splat Dashing, you force your enemies to use their brains a little bit and track your movement. This is a really easy technique to start applying to your own gameplay to make yourself more evasive, but it's something that's really tough to master because while you are making yourself more evasive, you are making it harder on yourself to land those shots. So as you can see in these clips, even I'm missing some shots, and I play this game quite a lot. In our previous video on Splat Dashing, we also went over the idea of sub-strafing. If you don't know what a sub-strafe is, then I recommend that you go back and check out that video so you know what's going on. Real quick, let me just explain that sub-strafing is something that we do to quickly change direction. You can mix sub-strafes in with your splat dashes to make yourself even less predictable. You don't even have to change your direction between each splat dash. You can trip people up by splat dashing over and over in a straight line. And if you want to get even more tricky, you could fake using a sub-strafe to switch direction, but just keep going in a straight line. That would be a really high-level mind game, so I don't recommend busting that one out unless you know you're fighting somebody who's really good at tracking your movement. For short-range weapons or just really close-quarters combat, you can try to use your sub-strafes and splat dashes not just to change your position to make your enemy have to move their aim a little bit, but try to get on the complete other side of them and force them to twist their camera all the way around, left, right, behind them. This would be called camera fighting. You're not just trying to fight your opponent, you're trying to fight their camera. Force them to really twist their arms around if they want to keep looking at you. When you're trying to approach somebody who's outside of your range, you can try splat dashing to make yourself a harder target during your approach. So instead of shooting at your opponent between each shot, you shoot once at the ground to give yourself a little paint to move, splat dash, shoot at the ground, splat dash. Now let's take a look at what happens when we use this technique in an actual game. Here we are with the custom jet squelcher. I'm about to get shot at from the side, and I start being evasive as soon as I notice that. Sub-strafe, splat dash. In this situation, I didn't even need to do any damage between each splat dash. I just had to be evasive so my teammates could clean up that splat. Right here, I'm about to get rushed again. There he is. He sees me going into squid form to try to splat dash. I don't actually have ink to move anywhere, so I don't go anywhere, but the fact that I go into squid form makes him think that I'm crossing him up and getting behind him, and it allows me to buy myself some time while he's turned around and get enough shots to splat him. Of course, I get killed by the Rainmaker, as you saw, but just showing that splat dashing, even if you don't move anywhere, sometimes it matters. Here we are with the Splash-O-Matic, taking a fight. Splat dash left again, switch over to right. Just showing you the honest truth there that my accuracy isn't that great with this strategy, but you can be so evasive that it doesn't matter if you miss a couple of your own shots. Now we're about to get rushed by a dually player, but I have a nice right side peeking angle with this grade. Right side peek, check out that video too. I decide to give it up and back off, bait him into a better fight where I have a little more space and time to heal. Now I know he's gonna rush me, so I predict it, throw a burst bomb, and now I'm in the same situation. I splat dash once. I don't even think he hit me at all with his main weapon. The only damage I took at the end there was from the paint being the wrong color on the ground. Now I just want to show one more situation here where I'm completely lacking paint control, but I specifically chose the Splash-O-Matic to display this strategy because it's so good at painting for itself. Even when I'm in this situation with no paint, I can still do a little bit of splat dashing. Depending on the weapon that you are using, for example, if you've got the Shot Pro, splat dashing like I did there with no paint control probably will not work. So remember, if you want to rely on splat dashing, you have to take fights in spots where you have some paint control, and that means playing around your team. I have no idea how this dually keeps ending up on my team's side of the map, but anyway, he's here. We should move on him, show who's boss. I wasn't planning on showing this part of the clip, but I talked so long that we ended up here. Now, I just want to show that Splat Dashing doesn't have to be just an offensive maneuver that you use to help yourself get splats. Sometimes you can do it purely defensively just to survive. So in this situation, I purposely played aggressively, but didn't play an aggressive weapon so that I would just have to try to use Splat Dashing and sub-strafing to keep myself alive. And when you're doing this, you're really just relying on your team to bail you out, or you're waiting for a chance to jump out. Here we are later on in the same match, and I'm about to rush this charger again with absolutely no plan. I just want to show that you can use sub-strafing and splat dashing to make yourself survive a little bit longer. Eventually, he gets frustrated and busts out his inkjet, which is cheating, so hopefully when Nintendo sees this video, they will ban him. You are not allowed to use inkjet on someone who's trying to make a video, just showing you how to evade. It's very bad manners. I don't like that. Here we are with one more clip with me using the custom jet squelcher. Someone gets close to me, so I'm forced to take this close quarters fight. I use splat dashing to survive a little longer. I'm completely out of position here, but I'm just splat dashing to survive that little extra bit. Maybe my team will bail me out. Ugh, it doesn't happen. I died because I was completely out of position, but still just showing that you can use splat dashing and evasive maneuvers to survive a little bit longer. I hope that you guys were able to learn something new about Splat Dashing. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can see my future Splatoon 2 Superfresh guides. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!